Good evening. My name is Eric Sparks, and this is my informative speech. For my informative speech, the topic that I've chosen is football. Not just football, but the evolution of the game of football, how it has changed and what has changed over the years. At the end of my speech, I believe that my audience will be informed about how the evolution of football has changed my life, and also why the game is so much different today than it has been in past years. Mind you, football is the game of America in my eyes. Some people say it is baseball, but I do believe that it is football. It is just so well known, and there's just such a great fan base for it. So I would ask if anyone in here has ever played football or regularly watches it. So obviously there's no one here, so I'll ask myself. I myself love football. I played it my whole life, and I chose to do this topic honestly because sports has always been a huge part of who I am. And if I were to choose one sport in which I excelled at the most, it by far was football. Getting scholarships from other colleges, having to turn them down, blah, blah, that's not the important part. But the important part is I do love football, and I'm very passionate about this topic. So, to get started, according to a staff writer for NFL.com, Ross Atkins, there are multiple ways of how the game of football has evolved to this date. From the evolution of the game itself to the evolution of the people who play it, the men themselves, the players, actually, even the coaches, the staff, the trainers, the doctors, everything has changed, everything's improved, all for the safety and the well-being for the players and the league itself. The rules have changed drastically for precautionary measures, I should say, to increase safety and decrease the amount of injuries, basically, yes. The men that play the game have increased in size and strength dramatically. This could be use of obviously PEDs, working out more. These days there's better use of weights. There's more knowledge on exactly what weights to do, what workouts to do to get big, or I should say to become stronger and bigger and faster, like these players are today. So, like I said, there are a lot of injuries in football. It's an obvious statement, and due to the amount of injuries, the safety and the padding has greatly improved since the beginning, since when it started. So, now that I've introduced you to my topic, I'm going to tell you more about this information. So, the rules of football have drastically changed since the beginning. Some rules that have changed are helmet-to-helmet contact, for example, celebrations, pass interference, holding, all these different rules, penalties, whatever you want to label them as, whether or not you are aware of how these work or not. All these changes that have been made are for the safety and the well-being of the players. So some of the players don't like it, some of them do, but they do understand it's for their best interest. Now these changes have become because of all the past injuries. So, these changes are for the players, and it has proven over the years that these rules changes have actually made a difference in regards to player safety. Like I said, helmet-to-helmet contact is now illegal, although back then all they had was like leather helmets. Now they have very, very hard helmets that are, some of them are carbon fiber. They have padding inside. Obviously, they have a face mask now, so the entire head is protected. Even though that is much more protection, there is still damage to be done. Also, regular drug tests are taken for PEDs, like I said, performance-enhancing drugs, steroids, all that type of stuff. Basically just steroids type things. Anything, Adderall, smaller things, just all PEDs. Now that I've talked about the rules, how the rules have changed, I'm going to tell you about how the men that play the game have increased in size and strength. They've increased in size and strength over the years, and not just by my opinion, but just by the obvious view of viewers who watch football. These men are giants. They're huge. The people who play the line are 6'7", almost 400 pounds. Enormous men. You see them and you're just starstruck. So, a study shows that since 1980, the weight of the players has actually increased by over 25%. Now, whether this is because they're lifting weights, taking steroids, we're really never going to know. Even though they do these regular drug tests, a lot of them do it undercover and they get away with it. So, another point being is, as of right now, actually, as of 2017, the average bench press for an NFL player is 300 pounds. Now that's an average. That's a warm-up, basically. That's ridiculous. I work out a lot, and 300 pounds is ridiculous for a bench press. So that being said, it's just crazy how much these players and these men have evolved over the years and, become bigger and stronger, therefore resulting in better performance at their position, whatever position they're playing, obviously, in the game of football. So, now that I've talked to you about how the men that play the game have increased in size and strength, I'm going to tell you now about how the safety and padding of the players that wear have improved due to injuries. Due to the injuries and safeties and padding that the players wear has improved. What I mean by that is, back in the day, all they used to wear, like I said earlier in the speech, the leather helmets, like leather helmets, with maybe a little bit of padding, and that's really it. They didn't have any shoulder pads at first, no leg pads, and they slowly implemented leg padding and some sort of shoulder padding. Now they have very, very hard plastic shoulder padding that goes across the chest, over the shoulders, and around the back. They also have neck padding that you could get, that's kind of optional. And like I said earlier in the speech, they have greatly improved the structure of the helmet and the safety that it can provide, especially in regards to brain damages, which is been proven in the NFL the number one, I guess you could say, long-term injury for their players and retirees. To conclude, I just would like to review what I have said. Today I have informed you about how the game of football has evolved, how the rules have drastically changed, how the men have drastically changed, and how due to the amount of injuries, the safety and the padding that the players wear has improved. By knowing the importance of how the game of football has changed, you now can be the one at the family gatherings who's sitting down watching the football game and inform everyone on how the game of football has changed. If someone wants to argue with you about a call, you'll be there, you'll know. Now you know the rules because of what I have told you. That being said, I really do thank you for the time, and that is it. Thank you so much.